Alright, hello, my name is Christopher Gaudina, and today I'm going to be showing off another build review that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. As you can see, this looks a little bit familiar. This is the old level that I've been using for the past couple of months, just to show off some of the new techniques that I've learned in class and things like that. I just tweaked a few things. I added a few new elements in here, and added a couple more things just to, roll with the events that I've learned. So for this video, just like any other video I've made in Unreal 4, I'll be switching from lit to unlit mode just to reduce some of the lag and really show off some of the events that I've created. So we'll get right into it. We'll hit play. For this part, you actually spawn inside of this restaurant here that I've built. You go ahead and turn on the lights, turn them off, turn them on, things like that. And we've added a brand new door. So go ahead and step on the trigger for that door. Slide smoothly. Cool. Now, there's two problems to this picture right now. For one, I can't open the door from the outside, and two, there's a brick wall right next to wood. That horrible design. But we'll go ahead and fix that right up. So for this part, you want to go ahead and get inside of the building. So we'll try to get inside of the building, or inside of the building. Alright, now we have a problem where we can't get inside of the building, and you want to test out this cool new security system, which you can go ahead and arm just like that. But one problem is that, for one, you left the lights on in here. Two, go ahead and show off this. You see that red light there? Yeah, that's supposed to be green. That's just means that you got to get inside and arm that security system. And walking out of the level, we left those lights on right in the kitchen. So you see those three lights. And the last problem is you left those those lights right in front of the door, completely turned on. So you want to go ahead and get inside of the building. So that's an easy fix. So we'll go on around, go on over this way. No, not jump off the edge. And yes, that creepy guy is still trying to sell candy to your kids. So for this part of the level, you want to go ahead and stand right next to this guy and switch over to him. Cool. And now this is a different pawn that you can control and try to get inside of the building with. So what we want to go ahead and do is jump on this part of it, and look at that, he's flying now. Now you can kind of survey what's going on. You have those lights on right there. You have those two red lights that aren't armed. So what you want to go ahead and do is jump on over here, and for the first part, let's get rid of this wall here. You really can't knock it down from the position you are, so you want to go ahead and step on this trigger. Yes, I made it visible just to show it off. So you step on this trigger, you go ahead and step on this wall, and you slam it down. So you could go ahead and turn off those lights from there and just walk out, but you still have the problem of having that light on and having that alarm system not armed anymore. So what you want to go ahead and do is push this cube onto here, this guy, and it'll turn green. But you also want to play around with this guy over here. So you press there we go. Switch on over. You see that guy's still moving, and he's gonna have his fun. But now we're in control of this guy. So we're gonna go ahead and come over here, push this block there, and now it is armed. So we have that green light on, and on the outside we have that other cube turning that light on. But we also want to knock down this door so we can get to the kitchen and turn off those lights. So we'll go ahead and slam that wall down, and we'll go ahead and turn off those lights just by slamming that giant door down. But yeah, now you can go ahead and open that door. You can see wide open. Turn off the lights and walk right on out. And there's no way you can get back in. We'll survey the area. So first thing you'll see is the lights are off. In the front of the restaurant, that light is green to show off the armed. We still have that guy running around, but we do have that green light turned on there, and now we have the lights turned off in the kitchen. So yeah, cool. That'll show off, kind of what I was trying to go for on this level. So we do have the lights on here. Have this new door there and all that good stuff. So first thing we'll start off with is the security camera here. So if we drag on this part here, and this, you can see that we created some textures, and off of those textures we created some materials that we went ahead and stuck to a cube and put on here, and we made a blueprint out of this. So for this blueprint, and open that, we created this crazy crazy blueprint here. So we'll start off with the so we'll have a switch between the selected materials that we have available for our cameras. This just means that for this event tick, we'll have a switch on integer where we have one material that we'll switch to, we'll have another material that we'll switch to, and then we'll have a third material. So for every frame drop, a choice will be made and the material will be set to one that we have in our array. So as you can see for this, we have our materials in an array, just so we can select between all of them. So I'll start on here. We have 1, 2, and 3 materials that we have to choose from. This camera to show node is kind of just showing off what, which camera will be shown in the selection that we have going on here. And for this part is, when using the camera screen, the player will press E, that's what we're pressing in game, and the materials will loop. And if it's anything other than the ones that we've listed, then it will reset. That's basically saying, so if we loop or press E through all of these here, we'll go ahead and this default will we'll set it to basically reset and keep going through the loop. So you keep pressing E, go through all the cameras, and show each and every individual screen. So that's that. So yeah, we were sending in a trigger to show off the cameras. So we'll go on in here, show that real fast. This is just a simple event, simple trigger that will allow us to activate the trigger, and it will listen when we step in and stop listening when we leave it. So basically, when we step in, we'll hit E, or we'll step in, and we're able to press E on that trigger, and it will work. If we're outside of the trigger and try to press E, nothing will happen. That's where these disable and enable input to come in handy. It'll be listening for our player. So we have this get player controller, and this is the E press that we use for inside the trigger. And this is just for the security screen that we have going on there. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Sorry about that. All right, so cool. Now we have this door here, which seems like nothing special, and auto saving our packages here. Sorry about that. So we'll be showing off this trigger here. This trigger is basically where we were able to step into it. So it'll open, kind of every time we enter the trigger. It'll close, open, step off the trigger, and it'll close right back up. So we have that. Open up that blueprint, show it off. This is a simple one for this part. So on event begin play, we'll have a rotation, we have our door here, and we have our rotator that kind of rotates our door. But we do have this new node here. We do have our timeline node where we can go ahead and set how we want the door to open and when to open. So we have 2 keyframes set up here, one at 0 and one at the value of 1. So and then we shrink this down to 1 second so we can have a fast moving opening door. We'll go to our event graph, and we have our box here on begin overlap. That's just a component that we have on over here on this side, and we do have our end overlap for our door. So we'll go off here, and on play the door will open. So once we strap in that trigger, and we also have this end overlap that it'll reverse every time we exit the trigger. So on update here, we'll set the rotation. The door will rotate a certain amount, a certain value, which we have it open. This is our door that's one we're trying to open. We have our lerp here that on close rotation it'll come here to A, and then on open rotation we'll have it B, and our rotation percent we'll have on our alpha, and then for that value we'll have it on our Z because that's the one we use to rotate, and that's how we have that door opening. So, and for that one, and for the next part, we'll go ahead and show off some of the pawns here. So you'll see that I had these triggers visible within the showing of the video. So we have this trigger here that the player can enter, hit E, and then go ahead and possess this pawn. And then for this guy over here, we do have this trigger that they can go ahead and press an E on and possess this player. And then we had that cool effect where he made it look like he was flying. We just had this simple thing going on here where it's just a platform raising up, and it makes the effect of it was floating or flying. Turn off that. This one gets a little bit more complex. So on begin play, we have a little bit of an elevator, and we use the timeline node once again to go ahead and show off that. where value set at 0, and we had a value of a 10 just for the raising of the platform on there. We had our static mesh that we were using, so we go to viewport. We do have our trigger here that we stepped on, and we had this static mesh here raise up, so have that illusion of flight. So here we have our box that we did begin on overlap. For this one, it's there's two ways that we could have done it. I used the branch here in order to kind of go off and activate this trigger here. We do have our other actor that kind of goes into this part here and gets our player pawn. And kind of go to our do end node here that we enter, and go ahead and exit, so we can kind of go on and off of it. So for our update, we'll have our location, which is our location was starting from the bottom part and kind of raising up. Our static mesh for our kind of the same thing that I've used before. Our elevator start and elevator end, having these pins pin here, having one to A, B, and then one to alpha for our elevator height. Our return value will now be for our new location would be up top for our Z. So for that, we can go ahead and show off. So kind of the cool way to do that. So sorry, I'll open that again. We'll have multiple chances for this to be activated since we do have our do end node here. We could activate this 25 times, or we could activate it 100 times, or we can activate it just the one time. But for the sake of the video, we put it at just 25, just a high number. So if we did miss that that flight, we could try it again. And by that I mean, we go from play here, and we try to get it. Well, we see that we didn't get to that part. No, we keep failing and failing and failing. We finally get to the part where we can jump on here and make the illusion of flight. But we come back down, and we get that chance one more time. Come on here. Or not. Yeah, just for this part of the video, we'll just go ahead and show off that part, kind of show off. That's what the do end nodes, and we'll have this part come up. And you can also do it with the do once node. If you just wanted to activate once, you'll replace that part of the blueprint with this do once node, where it just happens to do it one time, and it's a one-time use, and that's all you'll get out of it. But like I said, we decided to get rid of that and use a branch so we can use it multiple times and kind of deal with this do end node. So that's how we use that. For the pawns, we just went ahead and set up a third-person character, set up these triggers here, where the triggers are the same. So basically a simple trigger that allows us to press a key, which in this case was the E key, to control a different pawn. When the E key is pressed, one pawn will take over, and when it's pressed again, it will return to our default pawn. So you have this actor and overlap. You have our begin, which has our disable and our enable input, and our controllers, which is listening to our player controller. So on our E press, we'll have it unpossess the first player controller, which is our default, and then possess the next pawn, which we have our here pawn to possess, and go ahead and use it again, and we'll have our disable input on ourself. So that's how we have that going on. So we have so we were able to do this. We're kind of go off of this and go ahead and over here, and we can go ahead and possess this guy right over here, press E on him, and have him control this part of the map here. And if we run around back and go through this whole part of the level here, we'll go ahead and press E again on this guy here, and we'll control this guy right here, and then kind of switch off back and forth. We'll go ahead and enter the trigger, switch back over here, switch back on this guy. And yep, so the last part is just this wall here that we wanted to smash down. So for this one, we have our gate set up. We have our on component begin overlap. We have our fall box. So that fall box is just basically the one that fell down, and the one we try to knock down with the other pawn. So we have that. So we'll start on here on enter gate. You go ahead and enter the gate, and it'll activate. Once you exit, you can now simulate physics on that other one. So there's a little bit of trigger here. So you have to enter this one first in order to activate this. If you enter this trigger first and try to activate it, it won't work. You have to go ahead and set on this trigger, stand on this one, and then it'll work. That's why you have this on the collision component. We have our on component begin overlap, where we have this set to open, and again it'll go through this. Yep, go ahead and close that. And basically that's how showed off. We showed off a little bit of timeline, showed off a little some using that new gate node. We had the player pawn possessions and things like that. We made a cool illusion with this this new blueprint that we have going on here with our branch and dual nodes, and then that one-time node, and using timeline as well. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. I'm just showing off some cool little things that we've learned today. We do have the security cameras. Like I said, we do have the things up here, and the array is basically, if we go on over here, let's hit this, you see that we have the 3 angles and cameras that we have set up. So we went ahead and put those in an array, and now we can switch between them and show off the different camera angles that we have. So go ahead and keep on switching through those. Yeah, like I said, that'll do it for this video. That showed off all the elements that we had for this week. For next week, we'll be doing something different. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.